Sam.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dialed HQ, new HQ. I think we've only been in this building 2 weeks now, but so you're the first to see it in its new state.
I'm proud of that. Like, I skipped version 1 and 2.
You didn't miss much on version 1 or 2.
Yeah.
They kind of blend together, but yeah, so this is a huge upgrade for us.
Yeah.
But
This place is sweet.
yeah, it is cool. And when you got here, we kind of said like this is home for now, but there is a long-term home coming in the near future. But yeah, so you're pretty local for us in Fargo, right? So just a couple hours from here. So finally worked out to get you over and check everything out, and you have a new bow that you're getting set up. So yeah, what's your plan for this new bow build?
Yeah, so I've been working with Prime for a long time, and then I've always I worked at my brother's archery shop for a while, so back in 2012. So
yeah, and that you said that was
in Colorado.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yep. So they ran that for a decade, and then him and his business partner started what's called Bow Tune School, and so it's an online archery technician course. And I was like, it's been a while since I've done everything on my own bow, time issues are just the bow shows up in July and I'm just I just need to get this thing my last bow. I set it up and then came to TAC and sighted in my dialed sight at
Was
TAC.
that South Dakota TAC?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the way to do TAC.
Yeah.
All these guys are TAC's 3 months away. I need to get a bow set up and I need to get it tuned. It's no, just show up to TAC, bare bow and build it that day. Yeah. That's the way you should do it.
And it was perfect because I went to the range, I sighted in the dial, I came to you, you put my sight tape on.
And then that's when you crushed that bear.
And then I walked up, and Isaac
that.
Allman was giving me crap.
Yeah.
He's like, I bet you can't hit that bear.
Yeah.
And so the first shot out of it with the sight tape was 128 yards, and
I forgot about that.
Bear.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was South Dakota TAC. Yeah, that was nuts.
So I had a lot of confidence after that.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Hold on, Sam. When did you set this sight tape up?
This is the first shot since I put the tape on about a half hour ago.
All right, so this
You're good. Should be.
you dialed sight.
Dialed, yeah.
It is a little windy,
Let's see what
so
happens.
you want him a little bit to the right.
Aim just a hair out.
Just a bare hair right.
But this year I figured I could go through my brother's course and then do a little series on building the new Prime RVX. So they actually cut a lefty for me early this year. And so I've got the bow, and then I'm running all Vapor Trail and Stokerized.
So you got a lefty from Prime already?
Yeah.
Mine must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah, I'll tell BA.
Tell BA. We need one more lefty.
Yeah, so I got the bow. I ripped down to the Vapor Trail shop last week and hung out with Ricky and got a string set, stabilizer, and a rest. And so then when I get back home, the next couple days I'll be working on putting everything on the bow.
And you're doing this all yourself, right?
And 2 years ago, I bought everything for my home bow shop with the intention of doing it back then, and finally got around to it. So
I think and obviously, so you're probably going to be documenting all that, right?
Yep.
So, because that's one thing we get a lot of questions on, because we are primarily direct to consumer. We do some B2B, but you do see this increase in people wanting to do their own bow work and stuff because either they just don't have a shop near them or whatever. But so I think that'll be awesome content.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it every day because we live and breathe it. But
Right.
for the average person, it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
It's just having the right equipment, and then there is a right way and wrong way to do it. So that'll be super cool to see.
yeah, it should be fun to kind of dive back into it and then get the bow set up, get it sighted in, shoot 400 or 500 arrows through it, and then go back and do the paper tuning thing. And
see, and that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize is, a bow right out of the box will shoot different than a bow a month later, right? Because everything's got to break in and settle and stuff. So that's one thing that we talk a lot about with setting up, a sight is go through the initial setup, get a couple hundred arrows through it, but then go back and then redo it. And then that's when you should find your actual yardage tape.
For sure.
It worked out for you at TAC, but a month later, if you put a couple hundred arrows through that bow, you probably had to redo it.
I did, and I had to shift it and actually I'm probably the worst to be talking. I shouldn't be saying this type thing, but like I just figured out that I had to dial like just 1 extra yard every distance than I was
whatever
on.
works.
So I didn't go back and do it, but like it does shift. And when I was working at Josh's shop, like somebody come in, buy a bow, and we'd get it, center shot all set up and have them sighted in. And then we would give them a free super tune when they came back in after 300-400 arrows, and then they could come back in and we could run through everything again. And just
good, but yeah, that's cool. And then so we were talking earlier too. So you run one setup for everything, right?
I do.
So same arrow setup, same. You're not switching or anything like that.
No, and I don't do any target stuff, so I'm not worrying about.
So you practice with what you hunt with,
right? Yeah, all the time. Yeah, and I mean that works best for me. I'm a bit of a nomad, so like trying to like have one setup for this, one setup for this. Even switching between species, I don't, like.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Not going to deal with that.
Yeah, it is a lot to keep track of, and especially like, I mean, like me personally, I'm so busy, like, and I mean, you do a lot of traveling, we do a lot of traveling, like trying to keep track of multiple arrow setups and stuff.
Yeah.
But like there are a lot of people that do that,
yeah.
but I'm kind of similar with you. Like I just pick one setup and rock it.
I mean, it's sweet though that with this site you're able to, like, if you wanted to, like, if you're like I use this for western big game or antelope and deer, and then I have an elk arrow or whatever, then you can just run.
And if you have the time to like do all that, I barely have enough time to set up one setup. So trying to set up 3 or 4 in a year, like,
not going to happen.
No, but there's people that definitely do it, and that is, with our site, like you are able to do that, but finding one setup that works for everything isn't a bad way to do it too.
Yeah. So I'm actually went to a new arrow this year. So I'm running the Mark series from G5. So it's working with Prime G5. It's easy, transition to using all their stuff, and I get to talk to one person over there.
That's nice.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yep.
So one thing goes wrong, you have one person to yell at.
Right, exactly.
Unless you like yelling at people, but then you're just a bully.
But I do think, so they sent me a dozen already pre-fletched arrows, and I do think I want to have them send me just a dozen blanks, and so I can like put my own wraps and do my own fletching, and I like doing that little tedious work just to get prepped for the season.
Yeah, well then, I mean, if something goes wrong, 1, you know how to fix it.
Right.
And 2, you only have one person to blame.
That's on me.
Right? So, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
But, and then, so we brought up TAC, that's technically, I guess, where you and I met, was South Dakota TAC.
Yep.
And then we were talking about TAC this year, possibly making it to 1, depending on your schedule.
Depending on how the schedule works, going to be living in Colorado for a few months, and so might try to make it to the Big Sky one, depending on the dates. But we'll see if I can. I'm hoping I can make it to 1. I know.
God, they're so much fun, but it's like, I mean, it seems like for 10 events, it's like there's always something going on though.
Yeah.
And like they're not the only event. There's multiple events. There's like regional stuff, like local stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, trying to make it to them all, but it is, the thing I love about TAX is it doesn't matter your experience level, or if you're a business, or if you're, somebody there to shoot, like everybody's there for the same reason, just to have fun and shoot, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because you see people that are there for their first year.
Yeah.
And they'll give you a scorecard, but like it's just like if you want to do it. It's like, and then when they figure out, they're like, basically nobody is actually keeping score. It's
That's the best part about it.
Teaching yourself and like learning how you're shooting at distance and like kind of working out all the kinks before season. Like and then it's like, oh, you mean I can just like walk the courses, have a good time, make sure I'm shooting better, and I don't have to like focus on hitting the 12 ring.
Yeah.
I think it allows people to like kind of actually feel like they're in a hunting scenario
for sure,
rather than a target scenario, and kind of
and
practice like you play.
And that's like me personally, like if you put me like in an indoor range and put a paper target in front of me, I probably have a better chance hitting it with a slingshot.
Yeah.
But like at a TAC event where you're actually hiking and like you feel like you can visualize this actually happening, like when you're out hunting. And plus, you're usually with like some good people, and there's a little bit of competition. So like if you do want to use a scorecard, you can. But at the end of the day, the scorecard doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But it's a very unique experience, and it's if anybody that hasn't experienced it yet, they should. You know, because it is, especially for us being in like North Dakota, Minnesota, flatlanders, which you spend a lot of time out west. But for a lot of people like in our area, their dream is just to make it out west someday, right? And so. If you can piggyback like a family vacation to like, Montana or even like the South Dakota shoot's one of my favorites.
It's awesome.
I mean, the Black Hills area, like it's gorgeous, but you get that, you get that fix. But then you're like, okay, now I want more.
Right.
Like, so now I got to figure out, okay, now what tags do I have to put in for and all that stuff. So it definitely lights a fuse within you. So
yeah, it's the gateway drug of archery.
Oh, for sure. But that's why I love those events because, again, you get to, it's almost like, like growing up in the archery industry, like I become a little calloused and kind of tainted to where, to me, archery is just archery. But yet, when you're at events like that, or even like just having you here, right?
Yeah.
It almost kind of ignites that flame again, because me getting to see people experience archery in a different way, or like experience attack for the first time, like you see that excitement and it's contagious. So now it's all of a sudden it's like, man, I kind of want to get my bow out and start shooting, and like even like having you here talking about your setup, like I look at all of our bows and like my bows are someplace around here. I'm like, I should probably like dust off the cobwebs.
Get working on that.
Yeah, I should probably do that because it's already, almost mid-February. So before you know it, like tack's going to be here. And
well, it's like coming here, picking this up, and then thinking about tack. It's like, okay, now I'm thinking about tag draws and like, okay, I got to put in for antelope tag. Yeah,
we're
right
in the middle of that right now.
It's like, and then I'll be hunting probably western North Dakota for mule deer, and then like just trying to think of all the hunts that I have.
So yeah, what is lined up for this year?
So I think I'll probably try to do
obviously draw.
Draw
right
based, but I'll try to do an antelope hunt. Last year I had a couple tags and I never even made it out, just timing and things going on. And I love doing antelope because you can put on stalks all day and it tunes you up.
Antelope's my favorite.
Yeah.
If I could only hunt one animal,
it's
like
awesome.
Going forward, it would be antelope, 100%.
And then my September's very open right now, which is fine. Like I'm going to keep it pretty light. We always do, like last year did the 100-mile duck ruck, and there's always things going on. So keeping that pretty open for opportunity. And then October, I'll do probably archery, mule deer hunt, and then November is always dedicated to just lots of time in a tree.
Yeah, rut.
Yeah.
So then, being in North Dakota, is that where would you say you spend the majority of your time? I know you said you're going to be in Colorado for a bit, but for hunting, do you try to stay pretty like local, or you'd knock out all your traveling in like September and October, and then November it's home?
Yeah. And it helps. I do like maintaining relationships, and so my wife appreciates that when I'm home every once in a while.
Yeah, you gotta bank up those brownie points.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just got to be more efficient at this point. So it's like you get out there, you do the job, like whatever it be, content creation or a hunt or whatever. And it's like, all right, instead of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be gone for 18 days. Like I'll see you in November 1st. Like now it's like, I'll be gone 5 days. I'm gonna go do this, and then I'll be home.
And I feel like, I don't know this for sure because I'm not married, but I feel like if you say I'm going to be gone 10 days for like a content, project or something like that. Okay, that's easier to get approved because it's for work, right?
Oh yeah, it's getting paid.
But then if you have like, okay, I have 3 of these projects, and then, oh wait, there's a 5-day hunt that I want to sneak in there. Do I tell them that it's actually just a hunt?
It's all part of it.
Yeah, it's all part of like the content creation thing, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just time in the field. So but well, that's
looking forward to it and getting my bow all dialed and be able to start shooting here in the next couple weeks and just, kind of doing that whole thing. So
that's
fired up.
That's awesome. Well, like I said, it's exciting to have you over to HQ, and like I said, just having you here now, like I know all of us, like now it's time to like start planning for fall, and we got tax we got to plan for, but I'm already looking past that now and be like, you have all this stuff lined up. It's like, man, I should probably start thinking about this.
Yeah, got to plan out in advance, but
so, absolutely.
Just pumped to be getting to hang out with you guys and
this is awesome.
Kind of like grow with the brand a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No,
cool.
It's awesome. And next time we'll have to, we only have a couple hours today, but next time we'll have to spend more time and hopefully hang out at Attack this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Cut.